Well, I'm Marc Canonizado, and I'm from Orlando, Florida. I like it because it's kind of a big city for me. I'm a big city guy. I'm all about doing anything that's fun. I like Orlando because there's always something to do. It's a very touristy hometown. The other things I like to do, other than martial arts, is pretty much any other sport you can think of. I play basketball, I play football. I'm real big into anything that's hip-hop, like breakdancing. You know, obviously instead of karate, there's tricking that I do a lot.
Alright, so our first performance kick is a very basic performance kick, but yet it looks really good and it helps you set up for endless amount of trick combinations you want to do after it. Alright, this move is called a tornado touchdown. Alright, it's set off basically just like you would off of your normal 360 tornado. Now the only difference is you're going to land, instead of left foot, then right foot, you're going to land 2 feet at the same time. Alright, instead of doing your tornado where you land with your left and then your right, you're gonna land both feet at the same time. Now this is gonna require a little more whip, but hey, it's hyper. That's why we do things like this, all right? Stepping up the game a little bit. So we're gonna whip through a little more to get our 2 feet on the same time. So pretty much the setup is a tornado. You're gonna face in your guard stance, you're gonna turn, face towards the target. It's very important. If you don't know where you're looking, you're not gonna know where you're kicking. All right, then from there, you're gonna chamber up one of your knees. You're gonna try and point your body a little more to the front. Chamber just like you would a front kick. Now you're gonna jump off of your right leg. Okay, now the key word is jump. So don't just hop, jump. Okay, so you're gonna take your right leg, you're gonna jump off of it, and you're gonna do a crescent kick all the way through. Now obviously you're not gonna land 1 foot at a time. You're gonna try and pull that crescent kick through to where you land right at the same time.
Well, I started martial arts when I was 5 years old, and you know, there's a number of things that kind of got me into it. One thing being my father. He did martial arts as a kid, and then, you know, of course there's the Jackie Chan movies and all that, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the Power Rangers and stuff like that. So I just naturally, from a kid, just had this want to do something like martial arts, and over time I begged my dad enough to actually start me off, and from there it snowballed. Competing at first is fun, you know. I remember it being very challenging, but that's what I like. You know, I like the challenge. I don't like anything that's too easy, which is pretty much why I like doing different things. I like to challenge myself. First tournament experience, obviously, just like any other person out there, you know, you get a little nervous, you got the butterflies going. But, you know, at the same time, I was nervous, but I knew that I was ready to do some competitions and everything. I started off as about, you know, like a blue belt or so, like intermediate level. And, you know, it was a lot of fun. I was very confident in myself, and I just did weapons, forms, and sparring. Those were the only 3 I did back then. I decided with my dad to take it up a notch and compete nationally. And pretty much as soon as I started doing that, it just, I really wanted to prove that I could be top martial artist in the nation. And that's what really drove me to train the way I did as a kid, and it really was something I wanted to do. I wanted to be said that, you know, hey, there's that guy Marc, man. He's top of the chain.
All right, so our second move. Okay, this one's another cool jump kick combination. It's a little different. It's called a Fei Long. This, what you're gonna do is you're gonna do a nice jump crescent kick this way. Okay, a in-to-out crescent kick. All right, now you're gonna add a little bit more of that. You're gonna go hyper with it. We're gonna add a roundhouse kick right after the crescent kick all in the air. All right, so for example, you're gonna step through, you're gonna launch off of 2 feet, keyword launch, so jump. You're gonna go from there, left, then as you're on your way down, you're gonna roundhouse kick through. All right, so pretty much you're hitting them twice in the face with a nice clean kick, all right? Also, when you perform this in front of tournaments, in front of performances, anywhere you want to go to show these kicks, it's going to look amazing because you're going to have two wonderful kicks coming out nice and high, especially when you launch up in the air. So the main thing you want to do is you're going to take a step, all right? Or what you call a skip step or an L step, all right? You're going to step through with the front leg, the right leg's going to fall through. Okay, so it's almost like you're in a guard stance after that. From there, you're going to take off with 2 feet. You're going to bend at the knees. Very important, keep the body straight. You don't want to lean in this way. All right, that's a no-no. All right, you're going to step in, feet come together, keep the body straight, look in front. Then from there, you're going to launch off 2 feet, turn and spot your target. Again, if you don't know where you're going, you're not going to know where you're kicking. Then from there, I'm in the air, I'm going to take my left leg, and I'm going to do a crescent kick through. Now, as it comes down, before I land, my right leg's going to chamber nice and high and pop through with a roundhouse kick, then land. So you want to land right here. All right, so again, you have your guard up, step through, launch off 2 feet, spot the target, high chamber, big circle on this kick. Then pop through with a roundhouse kick all in the air.
When you do tournaments nationally, you really got to stay on the ball. You got to make sure you're in shape, mentally and physically. You know, you can't go into a tournament just walk in and expect to get first. You really got to be physically ready. But you know, above all, like I said, you got to be mentally ready. You got to make sure that you don't have any doubts about yourself. You don't have any doubts about your forms, your performance, what level, and you just got to be ready to bring your A game. Well, the way I train for tournaments, like I said earlier, obviously it's a lot of mental and physical preparation. But as far as in specifics, I do like to try and eat a little healthier. A couple weeks, 2-3 weeks before the tournament. I like to hydrate a lot, drink a lot of water. Try to stay away from sodas, anything with caffeine in it. And then, you know, my training is pretty much, I like to get my physical part, and anything that's like an intense workout, I do beforehand of the tournament. There's no sense in tiring your body out a week before the tournament or so. You know, you don't want to make your body a little fatigued or sore from all working out and everything like that. So any intense training I try to do a couple weeks beforehand. The last few weeks before the tournament, I like to just drill. Drill forms, drill hand techniques, all the fine tuning. I do a lot of technique drills over and over. I do them pretty much all week, every day, for at least an hour, 2 hours. You know, I drill my forms back to back. A lot of people are fine with just doing maybe 3 to 4 forms a night. I do the same, but I try to shoot for another 5th or another 6th. I try to push a little more every day. Obviously not to the point where I'm fatigued, because then after that, you know, if you're dead tired, your body's weak and you're trying to train, to a certain extent that's good, but if you're really trying to clean up your technique, doing your forms when you're incredibly tired, it's only hurting you. You know, you're only practicing poor technique. Anything with your entire body just being ready to dish out whatever you need, whenever you need it. And you know, me, to be honest with you, everybody's like, you know, you ever gonna stop? You ever gonna? I'm no. I love winning. I guess you'd call me greedy. I don't like losing. But yeah, I mean, as long as there's competition, I'll be there. Small, whether there's 5 people watching or 10 people, you know, or 10,000 people, I'll be there. I love competing, and titles, I'll take as many as I can. It's only better if you have more.
All right, our third trick, okay? This one's something you can kind of do down low. This one's a nice variation. A lot of what I've showed you is up high, maybe even stationary. This one we're gonna get low to the ground. We're getting nice and low, show them different angles, show them you got variety. Variety is the key. You don't wanna stick to the same stuff, all right? This right here is kind of a setup off of a Y kick or an L kick, all right? Except what we're gonna do, instead of one leg at a time, to where you're looking like one leg comes to your head and the other leg comes to the sky, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take those feet, and we're going to keep that nice and simple. Instead, we're going to make it look even impressive more when 2 feet come together like a pike. All right? So what I'm going to do to set that up is I'm going to kind of have what we call a step back set. I'm going to put my hands down, and put one of my hands behind me. That setup right there itself is pretty different. It looks cool. From here, you're going to take both feet as you're bent. This right hand is going to be planted on the ground. You don't want to do this. You don't want to bend. You want to plant it on the ground, straight. Then from there, you're going to take both feet while you're bent, and imagine doing 2 front kicks to the ceiling at the same time, all right? So you don't want to do this. Try to take both and pop up. Notice how my knees came to my chest, all right? The deeper into your chest you bring them, the better. You don't want to keep them out in front because then you get that, and you don't want that, all right? So you're going to keep your hands up. You're going to step back. It's almost like a stretch. Okay, so my left leg is straight, my right leg's just relaxed on the ball of the foot. I'm going to take my right leg and bring it to my left leg to here. Now my left hand is on the ground. Now what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to switch to where my right hand's on the ground. We're back in our squat position where my knees are together. Okay, then from here I'm going to kick up and bring my feet to the top. All right, notice how with my left hand I kind of grabbed. That gives it a little bit of different style to it more, a little more flavor we call it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do that again. So you step back, down, come through with the right, switch hands to your left or your right hand. Then from there you kick up and down.
The thing that I'm kind of looking forward to and being part of Hyper is just getting what we do out there known to everyday people. We were out there tricking a lot in the streets and in public, and it was good to see that people would gather around to watch what we're doing and came up to us a few times and ask us, you know, what are you guys about? What are you guys doing? Are you guys martial artists? I like the fact that people can have interest from what we do. You know, I think we're just as good as those BMXers, the skateboarders, all those action sport athletes. We really have the talent that people also look for in film or in acting and everything. And I feel like it's a good opportunity to be a part of this team to really get what we do out there to everybody.